Hi there, Mr. Holcomb here with another lesson in pre-algebra. This is the Unit 7 study guide. So we're done Unit 7 and here's the review. I'm going to go through this fairly quickly, but keep in mind if I'm going too fast, you can always go down and slow down my speed to 75% or even pause the video. But I'm going to go fairly quickly because this is a review. So here we go. Number 1, simplify. So the first thing I'm going to do is highlight my like terms. Don't forget the signs in front. They matter. Okay, so I'm going to do this. So I'm going to rewrite these in order. So I'm going to put the yellow first, 5m minus 8m, then plus 6n plus 3n. 5m minus 8m is negative 3m. 6n plus 3n is 9n. And that's it. That is the answer. That is simplified. Now, it didn't say factor, but we could factor a 3 out of this, but that would make it not so simplified. So that is the answer. Number 2, evaluate the expression in simplest form. So the first thing I'm going to do, and a lot of students are not doing this, and so what you need to do is you need to follow the rules, rewrite everything, okay? Show all your work. I know most don't, but then you're going to get errors in values and errors in positives and negatives. So you need to be really careful, attend to precision when you're doing math, and the only way to do that is to show all your work. So the order of operations says grouping, it comes first. So I'm going to group these rather than distribute since they're both constants. So I'm going to leave A here, and 2 minus 8 is negative 6. Minus 3b plus 7a plus 9b. Well, this negative 6a can be rewritten as this. Okay, a times negative 6 is the same as negative 6 times a. And then I'm going to put the next a. Okay, I'm going to put the a's first and then the b's. I didn't highlight here, but if I had, I would say, well, there's an a and this is an a and this is a b. Notice I copy the sign as well. And then I continue. So now I'm going to say negative 6a plus 7a is 1a or just simply a. You can put a 1 there, but it's not necessary. And then a negative 3 plus 9 is a positive 6b. Okay, so there is number 2. Number 3, complete each step below. Let me move this up a little bit. Complete each step to show how to simplify 2 times 5n minus 2 minus 4 more after that and express the result in factored form. So what we say here is 2 times the quantity, 5n minus 2, and then minus 4 more. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is distribute. 2 times 5n is 10n. Positive times a negative, don't forget this, it's negative. 2 times 2 is 4, and then this minus 4 is another 4 taken away. So 10n minus 4 is 10n, and negative 4 minus 4 is minus 8. So it says use the distributive property. That was step 1. So this will be like if this were fill in the blank or a drop-down box, the 10 goes here. Here's the n minus, and there's our 4. So you put a 4 here. And then there's a minus sign here, and there's a minus sign here. So don't put it twice, because if you put a negative 4 here and you hit the drop-down and there's a negative 4 in that on a test, and you say minus a negative 4, well, that means plus, and the negative 4 would be wrong. Okay, so be careful with the signs. Hopefully that makes sense to you, because the minus is already there. You do not put another one. And then when I combine like terms, this was my answer here. So this is 10n minus 8. So there's number 3. Number 4, what is 12x plus 5 plus negative 10x minus 3? Okay, so one way we could do this is vertical. I haven't shown this yet, but let me do it this way. I'll put 12x plus 5 here, and then I'm going to put plus parentheses, negative 10x minus 3. And if I do it vertically, then I can just say, well, 5 plus a negative 3, or 5 minus 3 is 2, and it's a positive 2. And 12x minus, plus a negative means minus, 12x minus 10x is 2x. x, and we are done. That is it. Number 5, the difference of the expression. Find the difference of this expression. So the first thing I'm going to focus on is the denominator over here is 8 and the denominator over here is 4. I'm going to create a common denominator. So 3 over 4, I need it to be over 8. So I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom by 2 over 2. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 3 is 6. Okay, so this is I'm going to rewrite this as 6 over 8c plus 9 minus, now I'm going to distribute here. A negative times a positive is negative, 1/8 c. A negative times a positive is negative, 1 times 2. There is a 1 right here, by the way. 1 times 2 is 2. Okay, always consider that to be a negative 1 times what's in the parentheses when the minus sign is outside. This 1 negative times a positive becomes a negative 2. All right, so now I'm going to rewrite these in order. 6/8 c minus 1/8 c plus 9 minus 2. So here's what I did. This is a c, this is a c, this is a constant, this is a constant, and I just rewrote them in order. And now 6/8 minus 1/8 is 5/8 c. Don't forget your variable. And 9 minus 2 is a positive 7. So it's 5/8 c plus 7. Number 6. Okay, we have 35x minus 42y. And we want to put it in factored form or simplest form. I'm going to do this as an expand. So I'm going to do a factor tree for 35 and a factor tree for 42. So 5 times 7 is 35. And 42 is even. So I'm going to divide by 2 and get 21. And 21 is 3 times 7. So if I wrote 35x equals in expanded form, it would be 5 times 7 times x. And if I expand 42y, I get 2 times 3 times 7 times y. Okay? And I'm looking for like terms, and it's 7. So that's what I'm going to factor out of this. So this is going to become 7 parentheses, and my leftovers are already sitting right there. So that's 5x minus, and I have 2 times 3, which is 6y. And that's how it goes back together. So I have 7 times 5 is 35, 7 times 6, 42, positive times the negatives, negative. Everything's all checking out, and the blue is what I put in my spaces. Okay, so that's how you do that. Number 7, 3z plus a negative 1/4 z. Oh, 3/8. Now look at here. So we have another one where we have an 8 here and a 4 here. So just to save time, if this becomes 8, we had to multiply by 2. So it's going to be 2 times 1 or 2/8. So I'm going to first rewrite it as 3/8 z plus a negative is minus 2/8 z. I'm putting them in order at the same time. And then 6 plus a negative 2 is the same as 6 minus 2. 3/8 z and 2/8 z are like terms. So 3/8 z minus 2/8 z is 1/8 z. And 6 minus 2 is 4. And that is our final answer. Okay. Next problem, number 8. What is 16x minus 7 minus? So I'm going to do this vertically again. 16x minus 7. And I want to change this to a plus, which would change this to minus and this to plus inside by distribution. So it's going to be 16x minus 7 plus a negative 12x and a positive 21. Okay, so negative 7 plus 21 is a positive 14. 16x plus a negative 12x is minus 12x, and that becomes 4x. So my answer is 4x plus 14. Okay. Number 9, simplify. First thing I'm going to do is rewrite this. Then I'm going to do the distributive property. 5 times 2x is 10x. Positive times a positive is positive. 5 times 3 is 15. And then rewrite this minus 4x after. I'm going to highlight my like terms, 10x minus 4x, and the plus 15. Okay, so 10x minus 4x is 6x plus 15. So if I did the expansion again here, 6x, 6 is 2 times 3 times x, okay? And then 15 equals 3 times 5. And there are my like terms. That's what I can factor out. And what's left over is 2x, and the sign was positive, and a 5. So my answer is 3 times 2x plus 5. Okay, number 10. All right, distribute 15 times 1/5. Think of this as 1 over 5 times 15 over 1. Well, that's going to equal 15 over 5 when you multiply straight across. You do not cross multiply, okay? That's when there's an equal sign in between. 15 divided by 5 is 3. The other way we could look at this is when you have it here, we can cancel these. 5 goes into 5 once, 5 goes into 15 3 times. 1 times 3 is 3 over 1, or simply 3. So this is going to become 3x. Okay, now when I distribute a positive times a negative, I'm going to get a negative. 1 times 5 is 5. 5 times 6 is 30. But the other thing I can do, rather than have big numbers and then reduce, I could do this. Think of that as 1/5 times 5/6, okay? And the 5s will cancel, leaving -1 on top and 6 down below. So it's minus 1 over 6. And then minus x plus 7 over 6. Get my highlighter. Here's a variable and a coefficient. A variable and a coefficient of -1, a constant, and a constant. Okay, so I'm going to combine like terms. 3x minus x is 2x. -1/6 plus 7/6. Well, 7/6 minus 1/6 is 6 over 6, which is simply 1. Okay, number 11. Expand means to distribute. 1/12, okay, -12 times 4c minus 3d. All right, whenever I do this, I always focus on the signs first. Negative times a positive is negative. 12 times 4 is 48c. A negative times a negative is positive. 12 times 3 is 36d. And we're done. -48 plus 36. All righty. 12, simplify. Okay, I'm going to rewrite the problem. 4 times x minus 3 plus 6 times 3x plus 5. This is just the distributive property twice. 4 times x is 4x. Positive times a negative is negative. 4 times 3 is 12. 6 times 3 is 18x. Positive times a positive is positive. 6 times 5 is 30. Grab my highlighter, highlight my 4x and my 18x, and highlight my -12 and my plus 30 constants. And I get 4x plus 18x, which is 22x. -12 plus 30 is a positive 18. Okay, 22x plus 18. So 22 plus 18. Number 13, distribute. 4 times 3m is 12m. Positive times a negative is negative. 4 times 2 is 8. Distribute. 3 times 2m is 6m. Positive times a negative is negative. 3 times 4 is 12. Get my highlighter. You see the routine here? It's repetitive. This is just repeat, repeat, repeat. 12m plus 6m is 18m. -8 minus 12 is -20. Enter your answer in factored form. Read the directions. 18m equals 2 times 3 times 3. I did a factor tree in my head. 2 times 3 is 6 times 3 is 18 times m. 20 is 2 times 2, which is 4, times 5. I have a 2 in common, and that is it. This will factor out a 2, leaving me with 3 times 3, which is 9, m minus 2 times 5, 10. So it's 2 times 9m minus 10. 14. A builder is pouring a concrete slab. The dimensions of the slab are shown, okay? Length and width. What is the length of edging needed to go around? The length, keyword there's length of edging needed to go around the concrete slab. That is a perimeter problem. Perimeter equals 2L plus 2W. Step 1 in math is write a formula. Step 2 is substitute the givens. P equals 2. My L is 5x plus 2 plus 2 times my W, which is 4x plus 1. Okay, so now I'm going to distribute these 2's. 2 times 5, so my P is going to equal 2 times 5x is 10x. Positive times a positive is positive. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 2 times 4x is 8x. I distributed here. I didn't show my arrow here. And I'm distributing here. 2 times 1 is 2. 10x plus 8x, 18x. Plus 4 plus 2 is plus 6. Okay, what is the length of edging needed to go around the concrete slab? Put your answer in simplest form. It is 18x plus 6. The other thing you could have done is said 5x plus 2 here and 4x plus 1 and just said 5x plus 4x is 9. 9 and 5 is 14 and 4 more is 18x. And 1 plus 2 is 3 plus 1 is 4 plus 2 is 6. And there that is. Enter the expression in simplest form. That is it. It did not say to factor, but I could factor out a 6. 15, factor. So I'm going to show this as expanded. 2bc, 12bc equals, and I'm going to do a factor tree of 12, which is 2 times 6. And 6 is 2 times 3, so it's 2 times 2 times 3. So it's 2 times 2 times 3 times b times c. And the negative 9b would be negative 1 for starters, and then I'll do a factor tree of 9, which is 3 times 3. So it's negative 1 times 3 times 3 times b. Okay, so I have a b right here in common, and I have a 3 right here in common, so I will factor out a 3b. In parentheses, what was left from the 12bc portion was 2 times 2, which is 4, and a c. So 12bc divided by 3b is 4c, and then it's minus, and I have this right here, 3 times 1, which is 3. So it is 3b times 4c minus 3. Just checking my work here. What number was that? 15? 3b times 4c minus 3. Okay, next. Conrad buys a skateboard that costs C dollars. After a 7.5% sales tax is added, the total cost can be represented as the expression, the price plus 0.075 times the cost. Okay, what is this expression written in simplest form? So they gave us this expression and they just want us to simplify it. Okay, let me see. Still got 7 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite this, C plus 0.075C. Notice I have a C in common in both of these. I'm going to highlight that. There's a C in both terms, so I can factor out a C. And C times what is C? Well, that's 1 plus 0.075. So it's 1 plus 0.075 with C on the outside. And this simplifies to, whoops, not equals, Okay, 1 plus 0.075 is 1.075. So if I rewrite this as this being my coefficient, it'd be 1.075 times C. And that is it. 17. The side lengths of two triangles are shown. Represent the perimeter of each triangle with an expression in simplest form. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is combine like terms. So it's going to be 3x plus 4x plus, and I'm just going to distribute here. Positive times a negative is negative, so I'm going to erase this plus sign and put a minus. 4 times x is 4x. Positive times a positive is positive. 4 times 21 is 82. So this is a zero pair right here, and that goes bye-bye. So we get 3x plus 82 as an expression simplified for triangle 1's perimeter. On the other one, it'd be 9x plus 6x plus 1 plus 40. 9x plus 6x is 15x. 40 plus 1 is 41. So there is the other expression. So it's this one and this one as perimeter. Okay. So it says represent the perimeter of each triangle and express in simplest form. So triangle 1 is 3x plus 82. Okay. Is it 82 or 84? It is 84, my fault. I just glimpsed at my key that I made earlier. I made a mistake here. Let me go back. 4 times negative x is negative 4x. That's fine. But 4 times 21 is 84, not 82. I apologize for that. This is 3x plus 84. Now I need to change my answer here. Okay, 3x plus 84. This is 15x plus 41. Okay, and then if we substitute in a 3 in each of these, I would get 3 times 3 plus 84. That's this one, which is 9 plus 84, which is 93. So triangle 1 had a perimeter of 93 when x was 3. 15 times 3 plus 41. 15 times 3 is 45. 45 plus 41 is 86. Okay, which had a greater perimeter when x is 3? It was triangle 1. 93 is more than 86. 18. The expression in the table represents how far two friends rode their bikes on a bike trail. Jackson and Ayana, miles ridden in terms of n. Enter an expression using the variable n that shows the difference between miles ridden by them. So it's subtraction. So it's 4n plus 2 minus 3n plus 5. So I'm subtracting this whole thing, right? So it's 2 minus 5, which is negative 3, and 4n minus 3n is 1n or just n. So the answer is n minus 3. Be really careful with the signs here, okay? Another way I could have done that is distribute. So I'd have 4n plus 2 minus parentheses 3n plus 5. This is doing it not vertically. 4n just sits there, plus 2 just stays there. Negative times a positive is negative 3n. Negative times a positive is negative 5. Maybe this way would be better. And then 4n minus 3n is n. And positive 2 minus 5 is negative 3. Number 19. A flower shop sells bouquets in a basic arrangement and in a deluxe arrangement. The table shows the sales of each type over D days. Write an expression using the variable D that represents the difference between the numbers. So it's 7D minus 5. Okay. 7D minus 5 minus the quantity 4D plus 9. So it's 7D minus 5, and this has to be distributed, minus 4D, and a negative times a positive is minus 9. 7D minus 4D is 3D. Negative 5 minus 9 is negative 14. So it's 3D minus 14. 20. Use the table above. The store sells more basic arrangements than deluxe. After 7 days, how much more money will the store have earned from basic arrangements than from deluxe? So we're using this same table, so let me just copy it over. I forgot to put that in here. No big deal. Okay, here's our table. Okay, so the store sells more basic arrangements than deluxe after 7 days. So we're going to let D equal 7. It says it right there. Okay, how much money will the store earn from a basic arrangement from a deluxe arrangement? So I'll do this one first. It'd be 7 times 7 minus 5, which equals 49 minus 5, or $44. If I plug in or I'm sorry, 44 arrangements. If I plug in a 7 here, I'm going to get 4 times 7 plus 9, which is 28, plus 9, which is 37. How much more money does the store have earned on basic? Well, that's this. So then we do this, and we are going to subtract the two. 4 to 3, borrow 10 over. 14 minus 7 is 7. So there's 7 more arrangements. But it says how much more money. So, it's not just this. Let's see. I need that 44 and 37. And I need that difference. But then we have to multiply the prices. So let me get rid of all this red here. So 44 arrangements at $15. We need to multiply that. Sorry about that. 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times 4 is 20 plus 2 is 22. Bring down a 0. 1 times 4. 1 times 4. And I made $660 on my basic arrangements. The deluxe arrangements, there were 37 of them sold at $22. 7 times 2 is 14. 3 times 2 is 6. Plus 1 is 7. Not 17, 7. Bring down a 0. 7 times 2 is 14. Carry the 1. 3 times 2 is 6. Plus 1 is 7. And I get $814. Now I'm going to subtract 814 and 660. And I'm going to get $54 more from the basic than the deluxe. Okay, so I was kind of rushing back there. As you can see, the time is now 3:38. I was trying to finish this up before the bell rang, and I made a mistake here. I forgot to subtract the 7 and the 1. So the answer to problem number 20 is $154. So how much money will the store have earned from basic arrangements? How much more in basic arrangements than deluxe? And it was $154. Okay, I forgot the 1. All right, let's carry on to 21, the last problem in this. This is a very complex problem where we have to do multi-steps. And it says the rectangular courtyard has a stone walkway around its perimeter. Okay, here's the stone walkway in dark gray. The dimensions of the courtyard are shown in the diagram. Complete the expression to represent the area of the stone walkway in the factored form. So in order to find the area of the stone walkway, here's what we need to do. I'm going to draw a diagram of this. So if you have a rectangle, a big one, okay, and then you have another one that's not as big, like we have, okay, so this is the diagram, right? So what you want to do to find the area in here is take the area of the big minus the area of the little. So I'm going to write that like this. So it's the area of the big minus the area of the little equals the area of the border. Okay, and that's just our little note. Okay, so the area of the big, so I want to find the area of the big one and the area of the little. So I'm going to write big for the big area, just to keep track of this, and little for the inside. Or I could call them inside and outside. Either way. Okay, so I'm going to work on the little one first. That one's easier. And I'm going to write my formula. Area equals length times width. The area equals, the length is 5x minus 1. And the width is 24. So I'm going to multiply 5x minus 1 times 24. How about I write that the other way around? 24 times 5x minus 1. That's better. Length, width. 24, 5x minus 1. When I distribute, I'm going to get 24 times 5x is 5 times 4 is 20. Carry the 2. 5 times 2 is 10 plus that 2 is 120. Minus 24 times a negative 1 is minus 24. So the area of this gray area inside is 120x minus 24. Okay. The area of the big one, now look what we have to do. This is 4 yards further right here, and this is 4 yards further. So this was 24. So now the new length is going to be 24 plus 4 plus 4, which is 32. Okay, 24 plus 8 is 32. Okay, so now the big one is going to be area equals length times width. The area equals, and the length is 32 this time, times. Now, if I have a 5x minus 1, and I'm adding 4 twice, okay, if there's a plus 4 here and plus 4 here, then this area over here is going to be 5x minus 1 plus 4 plus the 4th, plus those two 4s. Well, 5x minus 1 plus 4, minus 1 plus 4 is 3, and 3 plus 4 is 7, so this new length is going to be 5x plus 7 when we simplify it. So I'm going to put that here. Okay, and then I'm going to distribute. So the area equals 32 times 5x. Bring the x down. 5 times 2 is 10. Carry the 1. 5 times 3 is 15. Plus 1 is 16. That is 160x. Plus 7 times 2 is 14. Carry the 1. 7 times 3 is 21. Plus 1 is 22. So I have 160x plus 224 is the area of the big one. I'm going to put that over here. This is 160x plus 224. The area of the inside was 120x minus 24. The area of the 2 subtracted gives you the border area. So now I'm going to take 160x plus 224, and I'm going to subtract 120x minus 24. I have to be careful here because there's going to be a minus and negative. Be careful. 160x minus 120 is 40x. 224 minus a negative 24 means to add plus. Don't make that mistake. 4 plus 4 is 8. 2 plus 2 is 4. 2 plus nothing is 2, and it's positive. So 40x plus 248 is our difference of the two areas. Okay, we're almost done, but not quite. Now it says complete the expression to represent the area of the stone walkway in factored form. Now I need to factor this. So I'm going to do this over here. 40x equals, well, 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 is 8 times 5 is 40 times x. So 40 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 5 times x. 248. I'll do that with a factor tree, then I'll erase it. That's going to be 2, 124, 2, 62, 2, 31. So this 248 equals 2 times 2 times 2 times 31. Now I'm going to erase my tree. So there's my expanded form. What do we have in common? We have 1, 2. We have 2 2s. We have 3 2's. 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 is 8. That goes here. So that would mean it was going to be 8 times the quantity, 5x, plus 31. That is this factored. So this 5 goes here, and 31 goes here. Okay? Pretty complex problem. Find the area of the big rectangle, find the area of the small rectangle, subtract them, and then factor them. And that brings us to the end of Unit 7 Study Guide. If you can do this, you can do the test. Thanks for watching and have a great day.